The tighter you cling to desire, the more loss you receive. The harder you strive to force things, the further you push away what you want. Have you noticed this paradox appearing in every area of life? You crave success, but you become exhausted in the whirlwind of ambition. You crave love, but your clinging and desperation suffocate it. You want peace, but the harder you try to control things, the more chaotic your mind becomes. It's like trying to tightly grasp a handful of sand. The harder you squeeze, the faster the sand slips through your fingers. Or like someone struggling in the water, the more you resist, the faster you sink. Only when you relax can you float and be supported by the current. Life is the same. When you stop forcing things, everything begins to flow toward you naturally. This isn't surrender. It's a discipline of reason, revealed by the Stoic sages, knowing what belongs to you and what needs to be released to the natural flow. The door of life does not open for a clenched fist. It only opens when we know how to hold and how to let go at the right time. That is the spirit of the 7 Stoic lessons we will explore today. Principles that help you stop struggling, master your mindset, and let life operate according to its natural order. And if you are also looking for a way to master your mind in this chaotic world, subscribe to the channel to join us on this Stoic journey. Now let's dive into the first lesson. Lesson 1. Detach from the outcomes. In life, almost all of us have experienced this feeling. You pin all your hope on a single outcome, an exam, a job, a relationship. Your mind revolves entirely around the question, when will I succeed? When will things finally happen? But the more you wait, the more exhausted you become. The more you crave, the further it seems to retreat. The present suddenly turns into a dull train station where you just sit and wait for the success train to arrive. The Stoics recognized this early on. The philosopher Epictetus once advised, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do, and you will go on well." That teaching reveals a truth. The only thing you can master is your own effort, while the result is a necessary consequence of the process, not something you can force. A marathon runner can't finish a 26-mile course if they think only, when will I cross the finish line? But if they focus on their breath, on each stride, on maintaining their balance, then every step becomes a small victory, and the finish line is merely the natural outcome of that process. This doesn't mean you abandon your goals. Stoics don't teach you to give up, but to place your focus correctly. Instead of asking, when will I succeed? Ask, did I do my part today? That is the way to bring happiness back to the present, where you truly live, where you truly act. You can start simply. Every morning, write down the most important task for the day. Don't set expectations for immediate results. Just dedicate yourself fully to completing it. At the end of the day, ask yourself one question. Did I put forth my best effort today? If the answer is yes, then you have won. Not through an external outcome, but through internal freedom. And as one day follows another, each small effort weaving into a greater habit, you will find that the results naturally arrive as the inevitable reward of the journey you have cultivated. Lesson 2. Master your mind. The same events can occur, yet people's emotions can be opposite. In the same rain, one person might be annoyed because their clothes got wet, while another smiles, seeing an opportunity to slow down and listen to the drops fall. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The Stoics understood that we cannot choose our circumstances, but we can choose our perspective. That very perspective determines our emotional state. Take the example of an athlete who fails in an important competition. If the only voice echoing in their head is, "I'm incompetent," That failure will become a prolonged sentence, weighing down their entire journey. But if they think, "I just got an extra practice session on a big stage," the failure immediately transforms into a lesson. The reality hasn't changed, but the meaning is entirely different. The mind is like a garden. If you sow seeds of anxiety, envy, and fear, weeds will quickly sprout, choking out peace. But if you sow seeds of gratitude, patience, and optimism every day, sooner or later, you will walk through a lush, green garden. Mastering your mind doesn't mean faking positivity or denying difficulty. The Stoics didn't seek to avoid challenges. They viewed them as opportunities for training. Seneca once said, "Difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body." A challenge is no longer a burden when we view it as a gym, where every stumble is a chance to make us stronger. You can start simply. When a negative thought appears, instead of letting it drag you along, pause for a moment to observe it and name it. This is the fear of failure. Or, this is envy rising. Just by naming it, you detach yourself from it, like standing on the riverbank watching the water flow, instead of being swept away in the current. Then, try to shift your perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this training me for?" Immediately, your mind switches from victim to learner. And then, just take a deep breath to return to the present moment, where you can clearly see what you can do right now. Even a very small step means you've begun to reclaim mastery of your mind. When you practice this long enough, you will see the change clearly. The outside world may still be full of turmoil, but inside, you have a tranquil harbor. No matter how high the waves rise outside, you will still find a place to anchor. That is the power of the one who masters their mind. Not making life smooth and waveless, but keeping the mind clear enough to navigate in any circumstance. Lesson 3. Be patient with time. We live in an age of speed. Everything seems to require only a tap. Messages arrive instantly, food is delivered in minutes, and search results take mere seconds. But the truly valuable things in life do not operate on this frantic pace. No great tree grows overnight. No deep friendship forms after a single meeting. And no lasting growth comes from rushed efforts. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "All things require time to blossom. No one gathers sweet fruit from a seed sown yesterday." Everything needs time to ripen. Think of a farmer. He cannot plant seeds today and expect a harvest tomorrow. His job is to persistently tend to the field every day until the time for blooming and bearing fruit arrives. Life is the same. An entrepreneur might be impatient to raise capital quickly, wanting to see instant growth. But if the product isn't complete, the team isn't solid, and the model isn't mature, haste will lead to rapid failure. When one practices patience, invests in the process, and lays a strong foundation, success will arrive at the most opportune time. You can cultivate patience by changing how you measure progress. Instead of asking, "When will I succeed?" ask yourself, "How much time did I dedicate to the work today? How persistently did I strive?" When you make patience a part of your process, you will find yourself less anxious, more focused, and more resilient. Patience is also a form of trust. Trust that every seed you sow will germinate when the time is right. Trust that time is not an enemy taking things away from you, but a companion nurturing your growth. And when you learn to be patient with time, you are also learning to be patient with yourself, to grow a little more each day. Lesson 4. Act with purpose. There is a crucial difference that determines the quality of your life. Do you act out of purpose or out of fear? On the surface, both actions might look similar, but the underlying energy is completely different. Action stemming from fear is often accompanied by impatience. You work to prove you're not inferior, to fill a void of insecurity, or to seek validation from others. But the more you do, the more exhausted and lost you become. Conversely, action stemming from purpose brings stability. You know clearly what values your work is tied to, and because of this, every step, no matter how small, becomes meaningful. Imagine a young person walking into a job interview. If his mind is consumed with worry, "I must get this job at all costs," the tension will be visible in his eyes, his voice, and every gesture. But if he walks in thinking, "I want to find a suitable place to learn and develop myself," a sense of calmness will naturally spread. It is this attitude that builds trust in the eyes of the interviewer. Marcus Aurelius once advised, "If it is right to do it without hesitation." This brief reminder acts like a compass, guiding us toward our true purpose. You can start by applying the 3-question filter before any important decision. Why am I doing this? What value is it tied to? What can I start right now? What is the optimal course of action? By clearly answering these 3 questions, you will define your direction and purpose for action. When you develop the habit of acting with purpose, you will see a clear change. Work will no longer just be a race for results, but will become part of a journey of growth. Failure will no longer be an end, but an opportunity to adjust. And success will no longer be a life raft for insecurity, but proof that you have lived true to your values. Lesson 5. Cultivate inner tranquility. The world outside is never quiet. News rushes in every minute, work piles up, notifications constantly buzz, and endless debates draw you into a cycle of noise. In this whirlwind, people often try to escape, turning off their phones, closing their doors, or going somewhere far away. But the tranquility the Stoics speak of doesn't depend on the external world. It's built from within. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Constantly return to your quiet place in your own soul. There you will find true peace." This is a reminder that inner tranquility is not far-fetched. It's something you can practice every day. Try to recall moments when you were truly tranquil, perhaps early in the morning before the city wakes up, or a few minutes sitting quietly after a long day. In those moments, all the noise fades, and you realize you're no longer being swept away by the external current. This tranquility gives you the ability to clearly see problems, listen to yourself, and make wiser choices. The Stoics seek tranquility not to avoid, but to prepare. Just as a warrior sharpens their sword before battle, we cultivate inner tranquility so that when we step into chaotic situations, we can maintain clarity. You can start cultivating tranquility with very small habits. Every morning, before reaching for your phone, sit quietly for a few minutes with your breath. Inhale slowly, hold for a count, then exhale longer. After just 3 cycles of breath, you will notice a difference in your mind. When a rush of thoughts appears, instead of instantly reacting, pause and ask, "Is this truly important? Is it worth my concern?" Often, just a brief pause is enough for us to choose a better response. Another way is to establish screen-free moments during the day. This could be 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes at night before bed. During this time, allow your mind and body a chance to rest. These short pauses are exercises that gradually help you build a quiet space within yourself. When tranquility becomes a part of your life, you'll realize the outside world is as noisy as ever. But you are different on the inside, and that very stillness will be the strength that helps you make sound decisions, act decisively, and live more fully. Cultivating inner tranquility is the key to living a stable and clear-sighted life. When you are peaceful within, You can stand firm even when storms rage outside. Lesson 6. Abundance Mindset. We often suffer not because we truly lack things, but because we are always looking at what we don't have. You might have a warm home, a stable job, and loved ones by your side, but still feel empty because your eyes are constantly fixed on what's missing. This endless craving turns the present into an invisible void, making us feel like we are not enough. The Stoics were different. They believed that true wealth lies not in the amount of possessions you hold, but in the ability to see abundance in what is already present. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In modern life, the scarcity mindset creeps in everywhere. In social media comparisons, in the anxiety of not having achieved as much as others, and in the fear of losing what we currently have. But when you practice the mindset of abundance, you clearly see that you already have so much to start with: a healthy body, a new day to learn, and a friend to accompany you. The crucial point is, the abundance mindset doesn't make you complacent and stop striving. Stoics don't teach us to just give up, but to strive from a stable state of mind. When you feel you have enough, you walk with confidence and peace. You no longer race to fill a void, but act to develop what you already possess. You can cultivate this mindset with simple habits. Every morning, write down 3 things you are grateful for. It could be your family, your health, or a small opportunity at work. By starting your day with gratitude, you see the world through a different lens. And when facing difficulty, instead of asking, "What did I lose?" ask, "What opportunity is this giving me?" This very question helps you see abundance even in loss. When the mindset of abundance becomes a part of you, happiness is no longer a goal to be hunted, but a state you carry with you in every step. And paradoxically, it's when you stop craving endlessly that opportunities and success spontaneously find you. The mindset of abundance is not about having everything, but about realizing that you already have enough to live fully today. Lesson 7. Living in accord with nature. The Stoics believed we cannot command the wind to change direction, but we can adjust our sails. We cannot make the sun rise earlier, but we can wake up early to greet the dawn. Life has its own rhythm, and a wise person acts with full effort and then flows with the natural order. Think of the farmer. He chooses good seeds, diligently plants, waters, and tends to the crop every day. Perhaps that year yields a good harvest, or perhaps the crop fails due to rain, drought, or disease. But the farmer does not let the outcome paralyze his will. He continues to sow and nurture in the following seasons, and eventually, the time will come when he reaps the sweet fruit. Life is the same. There are things we can hold on to: our thoughts, our choices, our own actions. But there are also things outside of our control, such as the results, the opinions, and judgments of others, or the unpredictable changes of time. The Stoics remind us, don't waste energy on things you cannot control. Focus all your efforts on what you can control, and let the rest operate according to its natural order. You can remind yourself every day, today, I will simply sow the seeds and take good care of them. The harvest will come when the time is right. That is the art of living in accord with nature, knowing clearly what is your part and what is the part of nature. When you act wisely and let go peacefully, you will find strength in any circumstance. The 7 Stoic principles are not just for listening, but for you to cultivate and practice every day. They are like seeds, and you are the one who plants them in the soil of your soul. Start today. Do your best for a task that is within your power. Keep your mind clear in the face of difficulty. Let go of things that are outside your control. As you repeat these actions daily, the change will gradually sprout. You will find yourself more resilient in the face of adversity, more peaceful amid chaos, and free within your own soul. Stoicism does not promise an easy path, but it gives you steady feet to walk and an inner light clear enough to step through the darkness. If these lessons resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments section. Perhaps your own story will become a source of inspiration for someone else. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue this journey with us, planting more Stoic seeds for your daily path.